Hi everybody, my name is Rob Dykema. We're here at SoundOff Signal, a leading manufacturer of LED warning lights based here in Hudsonville, Michigan in the USA, where our primary focus is to protect those who serve. All right, let's take a closer look at the SoundOff Pinnacle overhead rooftop light bar. It's been around for about 4 or 5 years now, and it's been the workhorse for SoundOff Signal. We entered the light bar market with the ETL 5000 6 or 7 years ago and really hit a home run with that light bar. After that bar had 2 years in the field, we took the best things from that bar and incorporated it into a new bar called the Pinnacle, and that's what you see here. This is the 48-inch version. Obviously it comes in shorter, 36-inch, 48, 54, all the way up to 67-inch, depending on the type of vehicle that you need to install it on. There's a lot of cool features and functions on this light bar, and I'm going to highlight some of those for you today. Let's start with the corners. Rounded corners on the Pinnacle make it, kind of exclusive to the Pinnacle light bar. It's the only one in the industry that have the rounded corners for 360 coverage. Okay, there's a specification, the SAE J845. And what that is a 360-degree spec that needs to meet certain light outputs on every given angle. And the SoundOff Pinnacle actually meets that J845 specification with just the end caps alone. So 4 corners, this bar already meets that specification at 360 degrees. So the inboards are just added at that point. Now obviously you're going to get a lot of light out of the inboards. Now speaking of the inboards, I want to point out that each one of these inboards is individually sealed and watertight. The nice thing about that is this particular light bar for service in the field is very easy. You pull this top cover off, there's 6 screws that hold the top cover on, and you pull that off, and this module, or any of the modules, with 2 screws are removable. They unplug at the back of the module, and then they plug back in order to be replaced. Now, each module, being water sealed and weather resistant, carries a 5-year warranty. So whether you have an issue with 1 or 2 or none, it's very simple to do maintenance in the field, 5-minute replacement. The electronic control box inside this particular light bar as well is completely solid state and carries a 5-year warranty. So everything you see here is manufacturer warranted for 5 years against any issues or defects that you might find. Another cool feature about the Pinnacle rooftop light bar is its aluminum extrusion. Okay, it's got aluminum on the bottom, it's got aluminum for a top cover. Just makes it more solid, more robust. You've got longevity, you don't have to worry about fading, you don't have to worry about any issues with this metal, and it just makes the whole thing just a little bit more robust. The lensing that you see here in the front of the modules is a GE Lexan. Okay, it's got a lot of UV resistance in it, and it holds up to stones and anything else that might impact this lens. It's the same type of material that's used on your vehicle's headlamp. Okay, now this particular bar is very easy to install, and I'll tell you why. It's got 2 wires that come out of it. One wire is for power and ground, and it's fairly small, so the intrusion into the roof is not excessive. And then the other wire is a data cable. Both of those wires are 15 feet long. You run them into the vehicle, you put power and ground to the power wires, and then you plug the data cable into a breakout box, which you can do in your console or in your trunk, depending on where you're going to make your connections. And from that breakout box, you make your connections on your inputs and how you want this particular light bar to function. Now, it can be set up however you want to do it. You can turn on the front of the light bar with 1 switch. You can turn on the back of the light bar with 1 switch. You can turn on the corners with 1 switch. Or you can just turn the whole thing on with 1 flip of a switch. And it's completely customizable and configurable however your department wants it to be set up. This particular light bar has the takedowns in the center for the directional white lighting, and then it's red and blue around the rest of the bar. The other specification that I want to point out beyond that J845, the 360 spec, is the J595. And what makes that J595 important is that on a flat surface, if your light is pointing directly ahead, it can be very bright. But if you start to point your vehicle down at a 10-degree angle or up at a 10-degree angle, some of that light is going to be lost. SAE J595 is a specification that requires at 10 degrees down and 10 degrees up a certain amount of light to still meet that specification. And this particular light bar, and all of SoundOff Signal's light bars, meet that J595 specification. So make sure that when you're looking at different light bars in the industry, that you have a light bar that meets that J595 and also the J845 360 spec. Now, some of the other options that you can get with the Pinnacle light bar is a rear arrow. Now, the rear arrow can be all amber, can be red and blue, it can be both amber and red and blue. There's a lot of different options for how you want to set up your directional arrow in the back of the bar. All that stuff is done through your breakout box. It's included with every bar whether you want it or not, and you can go in the future and retrofit to add or subtract from an amber arrow or any arrow for that matter. Let's turn it on and take a look. As you can see, this particular bar is set up with red on one side, blue on the other side. The colors are custom configurable, and this one's got takedowns in the center. You can see the takedowns are a little bit more directional than the fusion optic that the Pinnacle light bar offers, but the entire bar is very bright, and you can see it's effective. So, hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.